Curiosity. What are you so curious about? Everything, Mr. Curiosity.
Alrighty, folks, I'm not going to introduce this segment because we have a man who is a professional, and he's got the golden pipes. Let him do it. I'm done. Here
John Meyer's here. Hey!
Wait, me? Come on. It's not John Meyer. It's not Nikki Kreis. It's not Joe Snedeker. It's... I don't even know your real name. That's we have this.
We got to go with Rocky.
I'm going to build up to that.
This is my I'm Rocky Rhodes, okay? From 98.5 KRZ.
From KRZ. I'm going to say local legend. I'm going to say it. There it is.
Yeah, okay.
That's
what do you
it.
think?
Thanks.
Do you think you're a legend?
I don't like labels,
I
tags,
know you
whatever.
Don't. That's why you're such a good guy.
What? Because I've been here for 35 years, so I survived. I'm a survivor, Joe.
That was my next question. So 35 years.
35 years here, 45 total in radio.
So you've been in radio 45 years.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Working the crazy hours you three work, yeah.
Wow. Yes, and the reason you're here is because I have been delivering the forecast for KRZ for, is it 20 years?
Probably, yeah.
Probably, and various companies that you have gone through. So we developed this relationship, you and I. We're like buddies.
Even though this is like one of the rare times I've seen you in person. I'll see Joe.
We've done bike rides
We've
together.
done charity bike rides. We'll talk to Joe for like 2 minutes, and then the ride starts, and then we don't see him because he's like, he's gone.
Yeah.
And this will be one of the longest in-person conversations you've probably ever had.
Yeah, maybe St. Patty's Day, Parade Day.
Yes, it's like bump into each other,
a
things
couple
like
of
that.
ships in the night kind of thing, but that's it.
So I don't even know the nature of our relationship because we did do this podcast during the pandemic, and it was remote and it was awkward.
Right.
This is the real deal.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't know if you want to tell everyone right now, but I don't even know your real name. Are you going to tell us your real name?
Well, do you need to know that?
No. Okay. We'll keep. See, he wants
I think it
keep
needs to be a
mys-
secret.
It's got to be a mystery.
I got a Citizen's Voice did a front page story, and that was like, Bob, they're one of their writers, went on and on about their editor needs to know. It's
Is that?
Why?
Why?
This makes it even better. I like how he's not give us a.
If some Hollywood actor you were interviewing, which also known as Dave Sherman, no, it's Al Pacino. They never put that in the story, right?
All right. Well, this is even better now because he's now mysterious. I'm going to say, let's all guess. You look to me like a Robert.
Robert?
What do you see, Nikki? I see a Robert.
Maybe a Dave.
Dave. I see Dave too.
Did you guys do some reconnaissance?
Did you, if you had a guess? Or?
I was going to actually go with Dave.
All right, so did any of us come
thinking
close, or you don't even want to say that?
Actually, you're both very close.
Well, wait, before you even go on, everyone born in the 50s and 60s and 70s, it's like Dave, Ron,
Michael, John.
Frank.
John,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, I'll give you this. Definitely nailed it on middle and first name.
What?
I'll leave my last name a secret.
Okay.
I happened to mention a name, and they did, and we got both?
Yes.
Wait,
Folks,
what?
Folks, we are
That
not...
was just a guess. Yeah.
That's what I thought you guys. I thought you guys were making some phone calls. Or
No, it was a total... We are not... Look at the look on our face like we saw a ghost.
We're just guessing.
I just made that up. And
blind
That's
guess.
great.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. We'll leave in the last. So we don't know if it's Rob Dave or Dave Rob. But there it is. All right.
But whatever it is, Rocky Rhodes worked better on the radio.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Rocky
Yes.
Rhodes.
Definite. So you're here with us today. You retired just last week. Was your last time on KRZ.
Right.
Or 2 weeks ago. This is going to be coming out in a bit. But how do you feel after all that time on the radio and you wake up and you're not going to work?
Yeah, what's it like for us grunts?
Yesterday was because we took off right away and went to visit some friends in Florida. We surprised the heck out of our old friend Tom. But yesterday was my first day waking up at home going, hey, I don't have to go to work today. So it's new. It's I don't know what it is yet.
Yeah.
Because I'm only 2 days into it. This is like my first official thing I had to do was come see you guys. Like, I got something to do today.
And folks, he had the nerve when I texted him about this to come in. Now, keep in mind, you've been waking up at what time all these years? 3 a.m.?
Yeah,
3:30?
quarter to
So I
3.
said, we're going to start maybe 9:30, 10. He goes, oh, that's early. Sarcastic piece of junk. Oh, that's early. Now he's Mr. Retired. 9:30 is early. But anyway, so you're retired.
I don't like that word.
I know. I don't want that either.
On the air, I never said the word. I
didn't say it.
I said I'm unplugging, and I'm basically unplugging my headphones
like that.
because retired reminds me of a racehorse, and they send them out. Oh, we're going to retire secretariat. They go to a farm and they live out their last couple of years. And no, I'm starting to live now. I can do whatever the heck I want. I'm not.
We need a new word for retirement.
Yeah,
You're right. Unplugging is good.
That's a great
I like that.
especially being in radio all these
Right,
years.
exactly. It made sense because I'm not going to just stop doing anything. I'm just going to sit on the couch all day.
No, but retired suggests you're not working for the man anymore, and you get to
Yeah.
do all those things you want that held you back in
Yeah.
life. That you kayak, you bike,
Right.
you just.
While I can, too, yeah.
I'm told he looks like he's about 39, 40, but he's
I
older. That's all.
know.
Dave, Paul, whatever your name is, Robert.
Wait,
looks-
that's my last name, Paul!
we got it all. So anyway, in this segment, what we do, this bag is full of questions that have
Right.
been emailed to brownbag@wnep.com.
I've heard something about it,
at
yes.
wnep.com. Folks, we need you to keep the questions coming. These are not in any way related to you. They're just random. They
Sure.
could be about anything.
Good.
So we're going to start answering their questions. But before we do that, we got to spend at least 5 minutes, you think, on your life.
We do.
Maybe 10. All right, so you're born where?
New Jersey, North Jersey, Bergen County.
Why all the Jersey jokes? Do you feel like it's necessary, or they're...
I defend my home state all the time.
You do?
I do, yeah. And I've heard them all. What exit, whatever. Hey, did you hear breaking news? They finally paved over the entire state of New Jersey.
Bon Jovi, Springsteen.
Yeah.
Like, why all the...
Yeah.
All the cliches.
It's a beautiful... It really
It
is
is.
a beautiful state.
Yeah. Most people know the Parkway or, Perth Amboy with all the...
Yeah.
Tanks and stuff. But yeah, it is. It's the Garden State. It was
Garden
all
State.
farmland back in the day. So there is still farmland and great beaches and Cape May and all sorts of
You
cool
think
stuff.
so many people from here mock New Jersey, but also just as many go to
Go,
New Jersey
yeah.
for vacation
Right.
every
Oh, yeah,
year.
So
yeah.
knock it off. Knock it off. Or don't go. Stay in PA.
So you graduate from high school, public school. I mean, you a Catholic boy, I bet?
No. Both Catholic and Jewish. My dad was Jewish. My mom was Catholic. They didn't really push religion on me, but I spent a lot of time in temple growing up with my dad.
So you're on both sides of Jesus, was he?
Yes,
Wasn't he?
yes.
Wow. All right. You don't know which way to go still, right?
Yeah, no, I'm still confused.
So public school, then you're like, I got to go to college. I got to get a degree.
Yeah, I went to school in Massachusetts for my first 2 years. Wasn't really sure what I was going to do, but during our little tour of the campus, they showed us the radio station. I said, oh, that's kind of cool. I like playing music.
Right.
I really wasn't thinking about being a personality. It was more about playing music on the radio. And so I started doing, college radio then, and I kind of liked it.
But why? You said Massachusetts?
Yeah.
Why- So were you looking at any schools in Jersey or like Pennsylvania?
No,
Let's go to Temple.
I
Let's go to-
wanted to get out of Jersey.
See, you
Something
were falling
different.
for-
I wanted to change.
May I ask
I
what you
like-
knew of Scranton back then? Was there any even reference in your life when you're 17, 18, 19? Like, what is the Scranton
No, but when I was in college in the summer, I would work in the Poconos.
Oh.
Delaware Water Gap. I worked at Shawnee, which is still there. And actually, one of our waitresses lived in Wilkes-Barre. So one night we came back to a bunch of us to her parents' house. So I was in Wilkes-Barre back in, that would have been like 1976, 77.
Just revealed his age without knowing.
And actually saw Rocky, the first one, at the old Sherman Theater when it was a movie theater in Stroudsburg. When did that movie come out? Like, right, 75, 76?
76, I think. Wow.
Yeah, so that's my first little taste of Northeast PA.
And you loved it. Oh, he pauses. Why the pause? Why the awkward
Little
pause?
did he know then.
Well, Wilkes-Barre was just a couple of years post-flood.
Flood, so it was brilliant and new and fresh.
And, my friend, I think her name was Jackie, she said, you see that line right there? That's the water line on our house.
Isn't that nuts?
That was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're in Mass. You're majoring in what? Communications?
Well, it
journal-
was actually English because they didn't have a broadcasting major. And then I transferred to Ohio University in Athens, Ohio, which had a radio and TV program.
Yeah, but this is weird, don't you think?
what?
All these different colleges in Ohio now. You're jumping.
Yeah, my dad said, hey, I heard something about this school in Ohio. They have a good broadcasting program.
I went to
So
Syracuse because of broadcasting.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I went there.
I
I
understand.
tried. They
that, but
wouldn't let me in. my grades weren't good enough in high school.
So now you're popping into the Midwest.
Yeah.
You're listening to Styx, REO Speedwagon. I'm thinking of some Midwestern bands.
Right.
It's the what? Late 70s, mid 70s?
Yeah, it's 77, 78. Yeah.
Do the math. He's in college in 78. All right. So then what? You graduate? And you're like,
Yeah, I worked at like the dorm station, which only people in the dorm could hear. Then I got to the big station on campus, which was like a big NPR station, which had a 50,000 watt signal. I did Jazz Tonight from 11:30 to 1 a.m.
I hear the voice.
Ooh, I love the voice.
Did you have to have the NPR
Yeah,
voice?
what's with that?
WOUB, AM and FM.
The Howard Stern story.
like
Be
that.
yourself. Do
So
the
I
radio
There has
voice.
to
so
be
I-
that voice.
I
So
like
I did
that.
that, and then I also got a part-time job at a commercial station in Parkersburg, West Virginia. So that was my first taste of the way radio really was. And then when I graduated, I was sending out tapes, resumes. I even sent a tape to Rock 107 back in the day, and I still have the rejection notice. Do you?
Wow.
Who's the dude over at VIA? Chris. I want to.
Chris. I don't
Chris.
know.
Chris.
I know who you're talking
I know who
about,
you're
but I
talking
can't think
about.
of
The
the
old
last name.
program director sent me a really, because back then they would send you, we appreciate your interest in our radio station, and we'll keep you on file if anything opens up. So so that was another little taste of Scranton. So I went back and got a full-time job at my old station in West Virginia.
And people, keep in mind, if you're a younger person listening, this was when radio was exploding. FM radio.
Yes.
It was
Yeah.
the thing, rock music,
Yeah.
rock stations, real DJs, not some automated garbage
Well,
that
and-
plays the top 10.
And to really date me, we had nothing but vinyl back then. The commercials were on tape, but we had a wall full of albums and singles. And if you had a song like "Dark Side of the Moon," or you'd have to slip cue it so the turntable would be spinning. You'd have to hold the edge of the piece of vinyl with the stylus, the needle, on the album as you're talking on the air. And here's Pink Floyd, "Dark Side of the Moon,"
And you let go of the vinyl.
and then you let it go.
Are
And
you listening, Nikki?
Yeah.
Look at you.
I'm not relating as much, but
That's
because you'd have to
why.
kind of cue it up to a little bit where there's some audio.
But it's so natural and honest and pure. We need...
Yeah, and to actually go and grab the album.
Yeah,
get
and it's
the
someone's
vinyl.
taste and it's someone's
Yeah.
expertise and
Yeah.
interest.
And
it's
our-
all gone now.
And now where everything comes out of a computer. We had a little metal box with 3x5 index cards in it that, okay, this is the song you're supposed to play next.
Supposed to.
And we'd always go back, oh, no, I like this one. Go back to what you...
There's no
Yeah.
character. There's no individualism. There's no
right.
honesty. It's all just corporate vomit.
You think of that in your career, the dramatic change
Yes.
in radio, just the
Yeah.
technology, how it's done, all of that.
Social media has totally changed our jobs.
Everybody's jobs, everybody's life.
Yeah.
I mean, ours has changed a lot too, but radio, it's been so dramatic.
Yeah. So it was nice to be there to see the progression and also being able to adapt to the changes and not so, oh, no, we need to play vinyl. That's the pure, well, whatever.
Well, that's a credit to you, is that your career has
Because-
been so successful. You had to adapt.
Yeah, and later on, I was more focused on what happened in between the music than the music, because after a while, you have to say, look, I'm not going to fight my boss about, no, we shouldn't be playing that song. We should be playing
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Just-
You saw that happen, evolve.
Yeah.
so you had to play certain songs
Yes. Well, yeah, now.
now.
Well,
but
since-
before,
No, then. Let's go then.
Yeah.
Then you
Back
could-
then,
Dr. Johnny Fever, WKRP in
back
Cincinnati.
then we
Is it
could
real?
have little themes. I could feature a certain artist in the morning, play like a track that never gets played, like a B-side or some album track that
Ooh, the purity.
just because I was featuring the Moody Blues that day, but I could go a little deeper and not just play all their hits.
See, I love that.
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Everyone
I love
loves that. Why
that.
can't it come back?
Yeah.
Why can't we have
yeah.
characters?
And that's why it kills me when I hear college radio. No, we're trying to, train them for the real world, and they got to have a format. No, just be creative with the music. Do it now while you can, because once you go out those doors, it's totally different.
But Rock, I tell everyone this because I was alive in the 70s when music, there was singer-songwriters, there was punk, there was new wave, there was heavy metal, there was disco, there was everything.
Yeah, people,
Now it's just nothing.
crap on the 70s, but that was one of the biggest
Oh, my
because
God.
you're coming out of the 60s,
Yeah.
all the protest stuff. In the 70s, everything exploded.
Explodes.
Jazz,
There's so much variety
jazz
now.
fusion, where you had a mix of jazz and rock and experimentation and all the punk stuff and
So good.
When would you say that really started to change?
As far as what?
With, you have to play this song when? Now.
It was changing at my first job because we had suggestions. Like an album would come in, and my boss would put a sticker on the album, and okay, these are the big songs, these 3 cuts. But like the Police, we get the new Police album, or we'd get REO Speedwagon, and we could play any song off the album. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
But it all depends on.
See,
do you want to play the
difference.
big hit, or you want to go with more of an album cut?
Well, let's talk about the dirty side. Let's look me in the eye. Did you ever receive payola? Oh, look at him. He's no.
No, I never did.
Well, that was okay, I think, before the law, right? You
Yeah.
actually could do that.
Yeah.
So you weren't a part of that world.
No, because I was
Play this band,
No,
and
I-
we will do
yeah.
this for you.
I was just the morning guy. I wasn't the music director or program director.
See, I was hoping for some juice there, John.
I know. So you came
Swing
to
and a miss.
You got the job at KRZ. Was that out of West Virginia? You came here from there?
West Virginia. I went to Charleston, South Carolina with my ex-wife. Worked part-time. Almost got out of radio because I kind of hit a wall there, and then got a full-time job at an AM station, then a rock station in Charleston.
Jeez.
Then my old boss from South Carolina called me up to go to Maine, to Augusta, Maine. That's where I met Sue at the radio
So
station.
how many jobs in are you at this point? 4, 5, 6?
1, 2, 3. That would have been my 4th job.
Oh, my God.
Then from Maine, we went to Colorado,
5.
Fort Collins,
6.
and then here, and then for a year, Orlando.
Oh, you left for a little while.
Yeah.
Orlando.
When you came here, was it you and Sue on the radio
Yes.
together
Yeah.
as a team when you came here?
Rocky
Okay.
and Sue.
Yes.
That was legendary.
Yeah,
It was.
legendary.
This was our 3rd job together.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I moved to Hazleton years ago, I loved listening to you guys. I feel like I grew up with
What
you
year
guys.
do you think that was?
I mean, it was 2005.
Okay.
2008. No, 2008.
But
okay.
almost 20
Okay.
years ago.
2008. Yeah.
And that was the beginning of the death of radio. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like a death. It's a...
It started
Decomposition.
with the incident in Rhode Island, that horrible fire. Was it Great White or
Oh, yeah.
was it Great White or
At the club, yeah.
yeah? And then lawyers got involved. Then we couldn't do anything. Up until then, we
Me, it
would
was just wild fun and...
whatever we wanted to do. We'd ask for forgiveness. Never ask for, hey, can we do this? No.
Oh, because so lawsuits changed all that.
Yeah, that was big. That was real big.
You're right. What was that radio show that was national with the 2 dudes? Come on, everyone knew them. I used to listen to that all the time. 20 years ago.
Opie and Anthony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Opie and Anthony, huge.
Yeah.
And then they were sued too, I think. By,
Where they sued, they had an incident.
but those days are over.
Yeah.
And DJs, not that you're not, used to be big celebrities. Are there any celebrity DJs now? No. You're like the last of the breed. Well, really.
There's a
Because
few.
young people aren't even listening
yeah.
to radio anymore.
They are.
Are they?
Yes. Yeah, we get calls from them all the time. Yeah.
All right. Well, it just
And
seems like...
if they're a contest winner, we have to get their age. So we. Yeah.
When I was in
They were
high
there.
school, I would call all the time to try to win contests. And one time I won a CD, and one time I won Mariah Carey tickets. And I never got to go to the concert
Oh.
because I wasn't able to go pick up the tickets in person.
Let me see. Maybe when she goes back on tour again, we'll put a call in.
Okay.
Let a little girl's dream come true.
Yes.
Did you have any when you started here? I mean, I'm sure you didn't think 35 years later
No.
you would still be a KRZ.
No.
So what made this place stick? Maybe you were in family stage then. Kids, mortgage.
Well, with my parents were in South Jersey, and as my parents got older, it was good that I was here.
Yeah.
Because when I was in Colorado, it was tough to get back and forth, and my dad started getting sick, then my mom got sick, so it was nice being 2 hours away. My son was always in Ohio and South Carolina, so either way, it didn't make any difference. But what was the question?
Why'd you stay
Why
here?
stay
Oh.
here?
After 6
It was
locations.
a great radio station, a great place to be. They gave us everything we wanted to be successful, and we were successful, and the listeners were awesome.
KRZ is epic.
We would
Yes.
whatever we would do, people would show up and be there for us.
It's almost like the radio of WNEP. It has just like
Right,
a heritage following.
Exactly,
And first you get a radio, you say, "I'm going to 98.5 easy," because it's the signal's so powerful.
right.
just the one you go to.
And they're
It's a
trendy,
part of the
current,
culture.
And,
Yeah.
it's a part of the culture, like WNEP.
It's funny because my first experience with KRZ was living in Western Pennsylvania, and I would drive to New York City to see friends or things like that. And you could pick up KRZ so far out into central Pennsylvania, and it would carry you through the drive till New Jersey pretty much. And then I moved here, and that was just the go-to station. And I think, do you find like this market being kind of a more traditional market? I mean, people still love local news, and it seems they still love local radio.
Definitely.
Before you said you were leaving KRZ, I was even thinking of a great storyline for the news is just how many personalities that are on the radio here have been here for so long. You think of the mornings on the radio here.
You're right. That's the same as us here. It's rare. It's very
so
rare.
many of the stations, you, Frankie, Doc,
Jumpin' Jeff.
Prospector, Jeff in the
Been forever.
afternoon. I mean, that's a lot of names that have been on for a
Been here
long time.
forever.
And I don't
Yeah,
think you find
that's
that in a lot of
rare.
markets anymore.
Not really, because, in order to make more money, you do have to bounce around. So it's tough to stick in a market. So
John, give me your philosophy on that. I love it.
What's my philosophy? Oh, so a longtime anchor at my first TV station, he was great. And I said to him, you could be anywhere.
Right.
And he said, you're going to get somewhere in your career that you're happy. And happiness means more than market size. Whoa. And that's been my thing. And I'm sure you kind of had that feel too. You get to a place where you're at a good station.
And you have a lot of freedom here as far as TV. I know you do. We've got all you guys doing what you do. And to have that freedom is rare.
And you kind of had that at KRZ.
Yeah. Yep.
Screw market size and money. It's not about that.
No.
No.
Screw all that. That's easy for me to say. All right, so then you leave for Orlando. What made that happen? And you hated Florida, admit it.
It was great in the winter. Hated it in the summer. Suddenly, friends we never knew we had. Hey, we're coming down.
They would invite themselves to your place in
We're going to be
Florida?
at Disney, and either can you get us tickets, or can we stay at your place for one night? Yeah. So no one would call us when we were here in Northeast PA. Hey, we're going to be in.
Yeah,
we're
but
going to be in
that's not why you
Scranton.
left.
I've actually
no.
thought of that, though. If you live in Florida, you
Yeah.
have to deal with people visiting you all the time. Anyone who comes is like, oh, free place to stay.
Yeah, that was back in '98.
That was 98.
Yeah, and we didn't. At that point, we hadn't been here for 9 years. We didn't own any real estate. We rented.
Yeah.
And we didn't know, what the future was. So we thought, hey, we take a chance. We got a call from a company at the station. The people were cool. Thought, why not? It was a fun year. We liked being there.
1 year, that's it?
Yeah.
And you said, we made a mistake. We got to go back to Scranton.
They changed format. It was a modern rock format, which was a lot of fun. So it was all female listeners, which was great. They changed to oldies, like really old oldies. Like
You go from the
That's a
Goo Goo
big
Dolls to
difference.
Perry Como.
it was like 50s and 60s.
Wow.
And Sue and I would still be doing our same stick on the air, just talking about our lives, and we get calls. Hey, it's Joe, class of '59. Can you play? Class of '59. That's how you refer to yourself, like when you graduated from high school. And so we came to a mutual. It wasn't a good fit. And then our boss came down, and we weren't sure where we were going to go. We were looking at Tampa, a couple other markets, and our boss flew down on a Friday. He said, hey, I'm going to be in town. You guys want to come out for dinner? Come out for dinner. He had a whole presentation, big package. Here's what I'm offering you guys to come back to Northeast PA.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that was,
And the rest is history.
And the rest is history.
and then we
He
came back.
changed Nikki's life.
And then we came back for
Influenced her
another
every morning.
25 years, yeah.
25 years. And now a retired man.
Unplugged.
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 I forgot. It's unplugged.
Isn't it funny, though, you've lived here for 35 years. You're part of the culture in northeastern Pennsylvania. But the way it is here, there's always that little thing that people think, oh, well, they're not really from here.
Yeah,
and stuff
exactly.
like
Yeah,
I've been here for
right.
20-some years.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
well, he's from Western Pennsylvania, even though I've made my life here.
Yeah.
You're
Or,
always
or
where you're
people
from.
or people assume that. So where were you born? Thinking like, what part of Northeast PA? And when I told them, Jersey. I always thought you were from Scranton or something.
Is he Robert or Dave? That's I can't believe
That's
we
the
nailed.
question.
I can't believe we nailed both.
That's
names.
That's crazy.
So Robert, Dave, or Dave, Robert. We're going to go on to Brown Bag. Anything
Okay.
you want to add before now? I mean, so you're done with
This
full-time
needs
work.
This needs a paint job. What do you guys do to this?
This thing was sent by a viewer. So no, it's beautiful. It's good. It's
got a cigarette burn on the side.
I think I shot fireworks off of it. Folks, the questions come to brownbag@wnep.com. Brownbag, one word, @wnep.com. It's only as good as you make it. Rocky's going to pick the first question.
All
Here we go,
right.
baby.
Let's hope it's a good one.
Now, is he a shallow? Oh, he's a shallow picker.
Are
He's
they
not gonna
good?
go
I don't know. I was going to ask.
It's
You
all
do
mixed up.
Is it? You do
Supposedly.
what you want to do,
Well,
man.
how many years of
Questions? No, they're all
are there
recycled.
like facts down at the bottom that you've never gotten?
It's
Joe
not-
was printing them out yesterday.
Yeah, it's not like a sedimentary deposit. The
Okay,
old stuff
all right.
isn't necessarily on the bottom.
And,
It's a
and we
mix.
really don't pre-screen them, so it could be anything.
Yeah, so you never know what you can get. It might be horrible.
Do I say who it's
You,
from? or-
you do whatever you want, but get this button ready.
All right.
If he doesn't like it, he's going to
I
hit
don't
our
think
button.
he's going to ring the bell.
Former NEPA resident Travis.
He's a frequent flyer,
Yeah,
so it's no surprise.
Hey, morning crew.
All right.
I've got another hypothetical question for you. Would you rather drive an hour or walk 2 miles to work every day? No, Joe, you can't ride your bike. You have to walk. 2 miles. Would you rather?
All right, so
drive
that's
an
it, Rock.
hour?
It's
Would
perfect
you
for
rather
it's perfect for an
drive?
unplugged guy. All right, so now every day you have to go to work. You have to drive an hour
It's probably
or
about
walk. How long?
miles.
2 miles.
2 miles.
2 miles would take about a half hour.
Yeah.
So I could do it even 20 minutes.
Yeah, see,
at-
I don't like being too close to work. I like the separation. For me, it was like
You want to drive an hour?
no. I'm just saying I like the 20 minutes that I had to go to work in the morning and not
too. I
not
love
being
that. Yeah, I
not
love
being
that
like
too.
5 minutes away.
I like it
just
too.
a little separation. But the walk that'd be nice.
Yeah, 2 miles away.
And then I'd call somebody in December. Hey, can you come pick me
Oh, yeah,
up?
we-
It's
Yeah.
Yeah, the December would be tough.
But 2 miles
January.
is so nothing.
yeah.
I would walk.
I'm walking.
Yeah, I would
Except,
walking?
I mean, when it rains or something, maybe
find a way.
You find a way.
Yeah.
We're all walkers.
Yeah, I like to walk anyway, so
I was the same thing as what you're saying when I was looking for a place to live. I wanted to be a little bit away,
Right.
but then I didn't want to be more than like 35 minutes away. Because an hour drive each way,
Hour is
that's
torture.
a lot.
Yeah.
But you brought up a good point. Why is it I look forward to my 20-minute drive to work every day?
Just
What is it about just sitting there?
the separation.
Oh my God.
Work and home for me.
Therapy.
Because I know people that live 5 minutes from work, and
You're right.
It's-
We're really close.
I'd almost feel like I was still at work. I just
Yeah.
like the unwind.
listening to
Drive
music.
is awesome.
you know
20 minutes is a sweet spot.
when
too.
I worked at home during COVID for a month.
Did you hate it?
At first, it was kind of cool because I could sit on the back porch, have a cup of coffee, watch the sun come up, play with the dogs. But I felt like I was always at work.
Me too. I hated it too. For that.
So like 7 o'clock at night, I was still working on stuff. It's like I could never get away from it. There was no separation.
Here's the problem with working from home, which is the problem going to be in your life right now. John and I came to this conclusion.
Oh, he's getting very
This
serious.
is just the way life is. You can't have a feeling of high unless you had a feeling of low. So on Friday, when you're leaving work, I'm leaving that place, even if you love your job. I'm going home. Woo! Da, da, da. You got that Friday
Yeah.
feeling. And if you're already home, you never have that feeling. That's number one. And number two, if you're unplugged, everything is good. So now the good is lesser good.
Wow.
That's
Lesser
heavy.
good.
You need to do something every day that you hate to appreciate. That's just the way life is.
Oh, there's plenty of work around the house that I hate
yeah, but
that I'll
even
be
that's
doing.
enjoyable.
Yeah, because it's for yourself.
That's our theory of winter is we have to go through winter and the bad because then we get to this and we're so excited.
Yeah.
We went through the
so
bad
much
and this
better.
is
We
amazing.
paid the price.
We paid the price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you need bad to appreciate good, John? Is
I
that-
think so.
Yeah. Mr. Retirement here, he's going to be happy all the time? No. So now you're going to be less happy. Why don't you go
gonna
somewhere?
be
Let's
less
say,
happy.
how about you come up my house?
Why did I come here today?
You'll be happier once you leave.
There we go.
When you leave her, you're going to be happy.
You'll be
This is the
happy.
low point of
I'm going to
his
be like
day.
Mindy with her paycheck. That'll be me leaving your parking lot. If I can get out of that gate.
If you
What do you
can
got-
clear the gate.
What are you guys hiding here? What
High
kind of
security.
secrets?
We have guys with machine guns on the roof. I don't know.
No messing around.
Luckily, you got by them.
I haven't been up here in a while.
All right,
Wow.
I'm picking.
All
Oh,
right.
he's going deep. You're deep. He was
It'll be
wrist-
another. Uh-oh, make
You
it a
were
mess.
wrist deep there, brother. We all rather walk to work.
Oh my gosh, it's another Travis.
That's all right.
It's okay.
And we have he has a whole separate container because he overloads it. He pollutes the.
This is really funny because it's timely, even though I don't think he sent it because of this. But hey, morning crew, why does the word moist bother people so much?
That doesn't bother me.
brought that
From
up
Travis.
the other day.
Joe had the word moist on the graphic like
Yeah.
2 days ago.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. Why has it become a thing?
It doesn't bother me, but it really bothers a lot
Why
of
does that
people.
bother people?
And some people, they can't stand to hear
No, they
that
can't
word.
stand
I
it.
know.
Does it bother women more than men, though?
It seems that way.
It seems that way.
Yeah.
Wait. Doesn't everything?
Oh, I'm gonna hit you,
As I say to him all the time, careful.
Joe.
Doesn't everything? All right, so moist doesn't bother anybody here. Moist brownies, moist cake,
No.
No, I don't know what it is.
moist atmosphere. We don't know what it is.
No.
Yeah.
But it doesn't bother us.
No.
And Joe even said it on the news.
No, I have no problem with the word moist.
I guess we weren't the right crowd to
It
ask.
became a problem because it's a problem for so many people. To me, it's funny, and it bothers me because it bothers them. But no, if no one brought that up, it would never bother me. The
Yeah.
word moist.
I wouldn't even know it was a thing.
I know.
You
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
even
either.
know it was a thing.
No.
Right? All right, Nikki.
All right,
you're
go ahead,
looking-
Nikki.
You're looking moist today. It was kind of humid outside. She's got a little glisten on her face. Here's her.
It's that same guy again.
No, the Travis. Come on, Travis. Keep them coming, but we're gonna have to dilute your responses. It's not Travis, is it?
No.
No. Are you feeling good about this one?
It says, is it possible for any of these three things to be a good experience? Webinar?
We already did this one.
Oh, we did?
Throw that one away. We'll see what Rocky thinks quick. Yeah,
Okay.
that must be a repeat. Here we go.
Webinar, luncheon, workshop.
Rocky isn't. Wait, these are three things no longer in your life. Think about that.
All three.
You've had to do all three.
Yeah, any of those work meetings.
Mr.
Zoom.
Unplugged doesn't have to worry about any
Yes.
of those things ever again.
Hang on to that
You
one.
probably had to be at luncheons
Yeah, here,
for
have
public
that as
appearances.
as a reminder
All right,
of-
Nikki, go again.
Yeah, have that as a reminder of all of us working stiffs. Webinar, luncheon.
Oh my gosh, that would be the best part about retirement is not having to do webinars
Yes, I know.
or
That would be.
workshops.
We just have to get him to do something he doesn't want to do every day to appreciate the things he can do.
Lynn from Berwick. Hi, Joe. From the best episode ever, one of the brown bag question asked about traveling to the core of the earth along with outer space travel in the deepest parts of the ocean.
Yeah, remember we talked about that? How you can't go to the center of the earth? It's impossible.
You said the furthest into the mantle was 7 miles by the Russian in a
Kola borehole, 7 miles. That's the deepest we've plunged into the earth. That's not the mantle. That's the crust still. 7 miles.
You've obviously never seen Journey to the Center of the
That's
Earth.
what we talked about last time. That's 4,000 miles to the center. We've only gone 7.
She said, anyway, you said the core is made of molten metals, nickel and iron.
Yeah.
So if no one ever made it there, how do they know what the core's composition is?
Oh, are we going to get into this? Do I want to bore people with the science? But it's the propagation and refraction of sound waves through the earth.
Just about ready to say that exact
No,
same
I mean,
thing.
that's
No,
how we
you-
know what the interior of the earth is, how fast sound from earthquakes travel through. So if there's an earthquake in Los Angeles, there's going to be waves on the other side of the earth that could then record the speed and refraction of those waves.
So is this person a non-believer? The Earth is flat. What else?
The earth does not have a metal core. No, the earth has a ball of metal as big as the moon in its center. And we know that, yeah, not directly, but through indirect evidence of sound waves. And it's tried and true. It's not like a theory, it's a fact. Fact.
We learn a lot in these podcasts.
We do.
See, it's not only just silliness, Rocky, although we like
It's a lot of silliness.
All right, so here we go. Next question. A non-Travis question. I know it. All right, this is Travis. All right, hey, bag people.
Wow.
We're bag people now. Here we go. Spring training right around the corner. Why is it that the pitchers and catchers report before everyone else? Why do they need more practice? I don't know anything about baseball. You're wearing the baseball cap, Rocky. Is that true?
Yeah, the pitchers need a lot of time to loosen up. And
And the catchers too, so they need the catcher to go with the pitcher.
exactly, yeah. I think the catchers don't have a choice. They just because the pitchers are there, they have to be there
I
too.
never knew that. So they show up days before,
Just
weeks before?
maybe a week ahead of time.
It sounds like a prima donna thing.
Well, baseball people make that such a thing. Pitchers and catchers
That's
report
like a big
next
day.
week. Yeah.
That's the first
they look
day.
forward to it.
The first day of camp, and then the rest of the guys show up a week later. Yeah.
Interesting. See, that's why we have Rocky here. Next question is all yours, big guy.
Oh,
Dig
another
deep.
one.
Yeah,
Wow.
we're going quick. Oh, we're going to do
Okay.
probably 3-4 rounds. How many minutes are we at?
Flying by.
All right, I'm
We're
going.
flying by, but we're going to.
How long has Travis been sending in questions?
Yeah,
Since the beginning.
since the beginning. But I have his own. He has his own stash. I try to, like I said, dilute them. But he does ask good questions.
He does.
3 out of the 4 have been
This is
Travis.
not a Travis question.
Yo, Travis.
It's from Karen in Schuylkill County.
Uh-oh, you're uncomfortable.
No, this will be a good one. Have you ever had a disagreement, spat with an on-air coworker, and then had to go live and be nicey-nicey?
Oh,
with
this is a good one for you too.
Yeah. So
Yes.
you and so let's
Yeah.
talk about your partner, Lissa.
Yes.
She seems like an awesome person. I know you
Yes.
have to say that because you're being a
Yeah. No, she's
public
easy to work with. Yeah.
sweetheart.
Yeah.
But you have to have your
She
disagreements.
seems like
with
she'd be really easy to work with.
I think
Yes,
you,
Yeah.
you had your disagreements.
Not big ones. It was different. Well, you've worked with your wife before, right? You know what that's all about.
Yeah. Here, but not like on as a team,
Okay.
like you guys.
okay. Yeah, and you just have to make it work, whatever.
Oh, you're talking about when you worked with your wife
With
too.
Sue.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that would be
we
interesting.
Yeah.
So there were a couple of times, but we got the mics go live in 30 seconds. We got to make it work. Got to make it happen.
So nothing weird sticks out. Like I couldn't imagine, like, because all couples, don't they? You get into an argument. Let's say you don't talk to your something happens at home. I don't know what it is, and then you do the old cold shoulder thing. I'm not talking to you. You're not talking to me. You're a day into this, and now you have to go to work
And go on the air.
and go on the air with this person. You must have run into that situation. Now all of a sudden,
It was usually things that happened on the air while we were there that we disagreed, a way to do something. Oh, you did this. Oh, you didn't do this. It was stupid stuff. It wasn't
still,
like
you pretend it's not there when you're on the air.
Yeah,
All you have
you
to be all
have to.
bubbly and
That's what-
friendly.
that's what you had to do,
Even
yeah.
though deep down inside you maybe hate her.
right.
Oh,
Just
he
for
said
that-
right. I was just kidding.
Just for that moment.
John, did you?
I
with
can't
Mindy,
think
did you ever have
of
an argument or something?
No.
Does it say coworker? Yeah, coworker. Could
Coworker.
be anybody.
I've definitely had disagreements with coworkers, and then we go on the air, but I can't think of anything major.
Yeah.
Like a spat right beforehand or anything like that. I mean, I get along with people pretty easily, so I can't think of anything.
John gets along with everybody,
The
though.
problem is, we all are wonderful people. Mindy, John, Nikki. We're really. I've never gotten mad at any of you guys. You probably got mad at me behind my back, and you're not going to say anything because I tend to be a jerk. But it doesn't bother me.
can't
I
think
love
of
you.
a time.
As a matter of fact, Nikki, I love you.
I love you
And
too,
John, I
Joe.
love you. And Mindy had a doctor's appointment. Tell the truth. You ever get mad at me and you thought, what a jerk?
No.
Oh,
Wow.
This is all
I don't
peace and
believe
love.
that.
I know.
My former photographer Tom and I worked very closely together for 12 years, and there were times when he and I would argue like husband and wife, and then we'd have to go and work together all day and do live shots and do 2 packages a day. And
Why, he can be a jerk?
no,
Throw him under the bus right now.
I mean, I think when you're working, it was probably me who could be a jerk.
Oh,
And
so
I-
selfish. It wasn't you, it was him. Just
Well,
admit
a
it.
little bit of both. And I think when you're working that closely with someone in a car together 8 hours a day,
Yeah,
every
you get-
day,
sure.
you're bound to have arguments. And I mean, that's what I can think of. Then we'd have to go and work together.
I never thought of that end of it. Both John and I work with Paul Kilbasa, and he's our photographer. And he thinks we're difficult, I'm sure.
Probably.
Sometimes he has opinions. When you work with a photog, you're like, really? You're going to make me go there and stand there and say this? I don't want to. Just do it.
Just do it.
And you're like, "Rrr."
It brings up a point, though, about just when we're doing things on air and live broadcasting is that there's lots of different things that can happen that you have to overcome.
Yeah.
And just do it. There's technical issues all the time and all that kind of stuff that your job as the professional is to make sure people at home don't know what happened. So
Because we're
not just a
professionals.
spat with somebody else, but that kind of stuff happens.
That was one of the reasons I got into radio, where I had more control. Where TV, I always felt like I didn't have control over what was happening. Just maybe what I was saying, but everything
Oh, I see.
else.
Yeah, because you're a part of a network of people and,
Yeah.
and schedules. And
Yeah.
Well, I guess that is a big difference between radio and
Yeah, you're
TV
just
is that
doing
you're
the thing.
doing a lot of
Yeah.
the work yourself,
Yeah.
whereas we are reliant on a significant amount of people.
Or, I'm sure you've all been caught. They come back and you don't get a cue that you're live. And
Oh, definitely.
you're
Yep.
looking a different direction. and
Yep.
Totally.
Picking
yes.
your nose, or who knows what you're doing. And it's.
Nikki, you pick your nose over. You don't want to say.
No.
Okay. Next question is yours, isn't it? Whose turn? Is
Yeah.
it?
Oh, me.
Okay. She does it. Some people don't. Some people actually do not. John Mayer does not. I think
course
this one
not.
fell out. Of course not. This was already went through. What do you got, big guy? Is it a good one? Is it a Travis? Are you hesitant?
No, I'm going to just go with it.
You don't like
This is from
You don't like
Russell in Tower City. He spells Tower City Tawr City. Tower.
City.
I know the commercials pay the bills. When using the WNEP app to watch the news, I have to hear and see, we're selling in the rain. We're selling in the rain. It's horrible. I feel nauseous every time I hear that. Fortunately, the Yingling Lord Chesterfield helps.
Selling in the Rain. That's the Blaze Alexander commercial. I think that's pretty
Yes.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good commercial. I'm selling in the rain. He's walking around with his umbrellas. That's a good one. Commercials annoy this guy.
Well, I mean, we get
What's his
Talkback
question?
16 calls about, I guess that's just the comment.
No. He
No
doesn't
question.
like the commercials. They pay the bills.
But so many people call Talkback to complain about the different commercials and things like that we have. But we don't have any control over that.
No. But the Blaze Alexander guys, they put
They're
some,
funny.
They
I
do.
love 'em. I
They
love
put
'em.
some
They
good
don't take
things
them.
together.
They don't take themselves too seriously.
That's
They,
No.
the
they have a
key.
good
We
time.
don't want that. You rather see some stiff in a suit lying to you
Right.
about an APR? Come on, people. I love you, Blaze. All right, what do you got, Nikki? Nikki, what are you doing this weekend? Anything fun?
Planting.
All right, whatever.
Helen K. What is the dress code at WNEP?
Oh, this is a
for
tough
the news
one.
anchors.
This is a tough one. Oh, for the news anchors.
Yeah.
For the news anchors.
Do we have an official
Is it
dress?
just waist up and you can do anything you want
It
underneath?
used to be just waist up.
That was actually stated somewhere?
No, but I worked weekends here for years as weekend anchor, and in the summer I would just wear shorts,
Right.
dress, and then when it's time for the news, dress shirt, tie, coat. We never stood up. They changed our set last year to include big monitors that we
Oh,
stand
so you
by.
had to stand up.
It changed everything. It
changed your whole life.
You can't wear jeans anymore. You can't just wear sneakers.
Oh.
I've never seen like a formal dress code. It's just understood. We're going to wear suit, tie, all that.
But look at the
Dress shoes.
sports people. They're all covering a soccer game. The weather people. We're out in the backyard in a mud event. No one wants to see a weather guy in a suit and tie, do they? I don't know. It all depends on where we're at and what we're doing.
Yeah.
Things have gotten a lot more casual.
Things
A
have gotten
lot.
casual.
A lot.
Folks, when I
Casual.
started, yeah, it was very strict. It was very structured. But society has changed.
It was probably revolutionary when you didn't wear a tie.
I'll even say I blazed trails for everybody else.
You did.
Shorts, no tie. Rocky, what do
So
you
I'm
think?
trying to remember. So
I a
before
trailblazer?
you, the weather people.
It was unheard of to not wear a suit and tie.
Wow.
Don't you think? And now we have Jeremy, who, yeah, he's.
It's
he's
like a
pretty
fashion
loose.
show. Yeah.
It's how
It's like
yeah.
you got all that at a thrift store. Where are you? No, that can't be all from a thrift store.
And he gets all his from a thrift store, and I get mine from the dollar store. So yeah, we're very,
Right next door. Yes.
yeah, we're very low key and highly economical here at
I love when you wear the clothes that your wife picked out for you. That's my
Oh,
favorite.
did you do it like that? That's
Yes.
a true story. She bought me stuff for the wedding I have to go to this weekend.
she?
And that I can pull off. I said, because no one down there in Florida is going to know me. Oh, but except the wedding people, they're all going to know me.
They'll know you.
She dresses me like the kind of guys I hate. And I tell her that. I said, I'm not wearing
Does
that.
she purposely do that?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
maybe.
said, you don't want me to be that guy.
I know he's really gonna hate this shirt. So
Well, she got me like this shirt. It's like clothy Balon, and it's thin, and no. And these pants that like Don Johnson would wear. Miami Vice
that's for
reference.
this wedding.
Yeah,
We need
that's-
some pictures.
I'm like, I'm not that guy. Why do you want me to be? Oh, you look great. Okay, whatever. As long as my friends don't see me because they'll beat me up. Okay, I came from that time period.
But in radio, you didn't have to worry about it.
no, not at
Maybe
all.
a little bit. Speedo.
Depending if you had to make an appearance, sure.
Yeah.
But at work, obviously, I don't come in wearing hats every day and sloppy, but casual.
Cash. All right, we have a couple
casual.
more questions. Whose turn is it?
Your
Nikki?
turn.
Oh, it's my turn. I'm going to pass to Rocky because we're low on time.
Okay.
And we have to hear more from this. How much
This
time
could
do
be
we
the
have
last
left?
one.
Looks like it's 45 minutes.
Oh, yeah, that's our
Rocky,
last question.
let's say
Should
we
I do this one?
You blaze through too quick, maybe.
Okay.
Because this is your place to shine. Because you have nothing else to do.
This is going to make me feel better about
Before
the
you
rest
answer
of the day.
What are you doing all day?
Today,
Nothing. Just say nothing.
actually, I have a work lunch. A work lunch. People want to meet for coffee.
This is the highlight of his week. Oh!
No, he doesn't like it.
It's Travis. Do you want another Travis
don't
question?
do Travis.
Okay,
Pick
put it
up.
back in there. I like it. He's taking charge. Travis, stop it already.
I'm sure the nicest
God,
guy in the
you're
world.
Yeah, and he has
We
good
actually had him on the podcast one
Yeah, we
time.
had
He
him
is a
on.
nice guy.
I mean, he's got great questions, but we need diversity here. Gosh. Uh-oh, that one looks like it's old and severed and cut up.
Wow.
Can you do it? Can you
There's
do it?
no
Time?
name. Oh, it is from Jen.
Jen.
I am looking for recommendations. Oh, this is boring.
No, it's going to be good.
For NOAA emergency weather radios that I can take camping. That's what you use Facebook for.
That's not boring. So NOAA weather radio, the government used to have its own broadcast
Right,
service
right.
for special alerts, and they still do. But not too many people have NOAA radios anymore because the same alerts that were spent on the NOAA radios you get on your phone. So you set your phone, you can get the NOAA radio.
So
alert.
she
Get a
doesn't-
smartphone. Download the app.
If you
You'll be
don't
just
have
fine.
That's
if you-
Rocky's recommendation.
if you don't have a smartphone, go get a NOAA radio. They
Right.
still do broadcast those frequencies, but not too many people use that anymore. Smartphones killed that.
All right, let's hope this is a good one.
We're not going to end until it's a good one.
It has to be a
It
good
has
one.
to be a good one. It has to be one that makes him slightly uncomfortable and inspired at the same time. Uncomfortable and inspired. Is this going to do it? Uncomfortable and inspired. Uncomfortable and inspired. Uncomfortable and inspired.
Oh, this is the Tower City guy again.
Oh, that's all right.
Okay, Russell. I keep seeing caution. I think it's going to be like a really hard. That's external email. That's
yeah.
you guys. Joe, you wear shorts and a T-shirt outside in the winter, but when I see you on the podcast, you wear a hoodie and a beanie cap. What's up with that? It's 20 below in there.
No, look, come on. If you're watching on YouTube, which this will be, no, I don't know. Maybe he caught me at a bad time. But I don't wear, what did he say? Long
Hoodie
pants,
and
beanie.
hoodie and a beanie.
That was probably a snowy day,
snowy
and
day.
Yeah.
got to pick another one. We got to end
Yeah,
on
there's
a-
got to be a
There's
good
gonna,
one.
we're not gonna. This is gonna be beautiful. No, these are good. No weather radio, dress codes. But Rocky. Frankie.
Bartonsville. Is it actually illegal or against policy to sneak food into a movie theater, or is this some sort of urban legend that we've all heard about since we were kids?
This is good.
This is a free country, after all. This lie has to end. Keep up the great work on the
Nice.
podcast.
Well, what do you think about that, dude? If you have a Pepsi down your pants or a bag of chips, they can't stop you, can they?
It's not illegal,
not illegal,
but it's against probably policy. You know, if you want to just ignore the policy,
know, is it?
bringing food in.
I think this is a cultural question because there are some moms out there that load their kids down with food before going to the movie theater.
Yeah, but I wonder if
My mom was one. Like, if we were going to the movies, we're not going unless you get snacks in those pockets.
But let's think about this. Could a movie theater, you going in with, did anyone ever try this? You walk into the door literally with a big box of popcorn. As you pay for your ticket, you're chewing
No,
on it.
because I think everyone's sneaking.
Is someone going to,
You would you have to conceal. Sure.
why? What are they going to do? You can't come in here with the popcorn?
They could probably take it away.
I would think
I don't
so.
think so. I don't think, there's
I-
pimple-faced 16-year-olds working there. They're not going to bother.
You're true. They
don't
probably
care
wouldn't
about the
care.
code. The manager, he's out in the back.
I'm going to get my manager.
Yeah, I've snuck food into every movie I've ever been to.
But you use the word sneak. Maybe you don't have to, is what
I
you're
have a
saying.
big purse, and I have a wine purse.
But, what?
What are you telling us?
You booze in the theater?
Well, I mean, you can.
You don't have a problem, do you?
No, but I mean, sometimes if I
Breaking-
want to have a
breaking
glass of
news
wine
here
in a
on the-
movie, I have
No, but you can walk into a Kmart. Okay, that's too old. If I walk into Wegmans with a bag of popcorn, no one's gonna. I don't think theaters have the right to do anything.
Well, restaurants, no outside food,
Yeah,
no
they could
outside
stop you.
drinks.
They can
It's
probably
the
do
same
what they
kind of
want.
thing. It's the same
you're
thing.
saying I can't go into Burger King with a tray of pizza?
I would say they would probably say something to you.
Probably say something.
We got to put this to the test.
That brings up a good point. But some parents and grandparents take it very seriously.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not illegal, but You're
But
not
could
gonna,
it be enforced? Could a movie theater kick you out for sneaking in a
Yes,
2-liter
I
bottle?
think-
You really think so?
yeah.
You have to buy their stuff.
I would think.
Yeah.
I'd say I want to see your bylaws.
Yeah.
I've never seen him kick anybody out.
They're not kicking
I
anybody
will
out.
say when I take the kids and they beg for that tub of popcorn and I'm spending $9 for a tub of popcorn, it pains me.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
almost like you have to.
Have you done that, Rocky, as we end this podcast? You snuck a lot of stuff in?
Sure, everybody has. Yeah.
What's your go-to? You're a Twizzlers guy? Or?
What do we do? Well, it's actually, Nikki, I'm with you. It's been a couple of beers, depending on the
Couple of
movie.
beers.
Back in the day, concert movies, sure. Late night movies.
Any funny little cigarettes or anything? You're not doing that, right? Is that even legal now? I don't know.
Not in a movie theater.
Cigarette.
Or, Joe, not in a movie theater or on an
Throw you
airplane,
out.
okay? I don't know. Maybe you don't get out much, but...
All right. Any final thoughts as you begin now unplugging for the rest of
Well, I have a whole new way of looking at my depressing life from here on in, thanks to someone in this room.
Do you want to put out maybe your job application? Are you willing to do some work now? Maybe someone will hear it and say, I want that guy.
No. No. This is day 2. I'm fine right now. I got some gardening to do. I got hot peppers to work on this weekend. I've got people to see.
Awesome. Well, then the only last thing we need to know, is it Robert Dave or Dave Robert? Please just...
Dave.
You think
Robert.
it's Dave Robert?
I think he's a Dave.
I think he's a Dave.
I think he's a Dave.
I think it has to be a mystery.
Stay tuned, everybody.
Good luck with everything.
How about who really cares?
That's a great point.
Mr. Curiosity. Don't you have other things to be curious about?
Peace out, brother.
See ya.
Good to have you.
Bye.
Curiosity. What are you so curious about? Everything, Mr. Curiosity.